Hey guys, it's Caitlin, and today I'm here with my sister,
Emily.
And today we are making everything bagels. So, we are going to be making everything bagels in our bread machine instead of just like the traditional way of like kneading it and all that stuff. So the bread machine basically just kneads the dough for you and makes it really easy. So we're gonna show you guys how to do that today. So without further ado, let's just get started. So what you need to make everything bagels is yeast, eggs, measuring cups, salt, and then everything bagel seasoning. You can make your own seasoning, but this one my mom got from Meyer, and it's really, really good. If you have everything, you can always make your own, but this tastes really, really good, so we use this.
And then you need flour,
We just use all-purpose flour, no special bread flour.
sugar, and water.
And then finally, you need a bread machine. I know that maybe not everybody has one of these, but you can you can do the same thing, just knead it instead. And if you do that, make sure that you bloom the yeast and everything like that. If you want a video of how to do that, just comment down below and we can make one, because I also make cinnamon bread the same way without the bread machine. But if you have a bread machine, this recipe is great. So the first step is to put all the ingredients in the bread machine bucket. So this actually excludes the seasoning and all that stuff, everything for the dough. So that is the sugar, flour, water, salt, and yeast. And I will go through, when you do it, there's a special order that you have to do it in. So I will show you that right now. Okay, so there is an order to how you put everything in the bread machine. So we have already added our water. All the measurements will be on the screen. Sorry for the glare, but so first you add the water, and you want to try to do it without splashing any up on the sides, and I'll explain why later. But then to the water you add the sugar and the salt. Again, trying to like splash as little as possible. Then after that, you want to add your flour. So when you add your flour, you want to add it all towards the middle, kind of in like a peak, like mountain shape. Like you want to add it all like in a pile and not spread it out, just like Emily's doing. So then after you've done that, you want to make a little like indent in the flour for the yeast. Then you pour the yeast right in the indent, and the reason that you don't want you do not want the water on the sides is because the yeast cannot touch the water when you put it in. You can't touch the water until it starts to get like mixed around. So hope that all made sense. Next step is to just put the bread machine basket back into the bread machine and make sure it clicks in place, and then put the handle down. Then our bread machine has this fancy guide, and so dough is number 11. So since we are making the dough, we click select and we put it all the way to 11, and then we just close the lid and press start. So every bread machine is different, but ours is kind of loud, so I'm gonna try to talk over it. But our bread machine takes 1 hour and 30 minutes to make the dough. But after the dough is done, I like to let it rise in the bread machine where it's warm for another like 30 minutes to an hour-ish, just so that it rises more. And another pro tip, don't open the bread machine while it's mixing, because that releases all the heat, and the heat is blooming the yeast and activating it, and that's what makes it be able to rise. So you don't want to mess the yeast up. But so our bread machine takes that long to mix it. It takes 1 hour and 30 minutes. Then I always leave it for a little bit longer. Also, I forgot to mention, you want to set it on 2 pounds. Ours just automatically goes to 2 pounds, but yours might not. So 2 pounds. And we will see you all when it is dough. We'll see y'all when it's dough. So we're back, and we have our dough. We've let it rise and everything. It's kind of like all on one side, but that's okay. But now we're going to form it into like the bagel shape. So we're gonna do that now. So we just finished rolling out our dough. We make ours a little bit smaller. We got 13 out of it. I used to make them bigger, and I only got 8. So it's just really however you want to make it. We split it in half, and then we just keep splitting it in half again and again after that. Then once you've done that, you just poke a hole in the middle and kind of just like mess with it until you've got like how you want it to be shaped. Just kind of like how you want it to be shaped, however. And then you put them on a baking sheet, a cookie sheet with parchment paper, and you brush butter over the top of it. It usually takes about 2 tablespoons of butter, and then you just let them sit for 30 minutes. So we'll see you later. So as you just saw, we shaped them all. We put the butter on them. We use about 2 tablespoons, but you really only need 1. It just depends again, but you really only need 1. And then once you are done, you put them on the parchment paper with the butter, and then you cover them with wax paper and then a dry towel, and put them on the oven. So you also want to put your oven on really any temperature while they're rising. We always put it on 350 while it's rising, but I'm pretty sure that these are at a different temperature, but you can worry about that later. But just, you want to have some heat, so then the heat activates the yeast and makes the yeast rise, which makes the bagels rise more, and the more the bagels rise, the better. So you have to leave them for at least 30 minutes, but if you don't think they've risen as much, then you can leave them for longer. So we will see you then.
We're back and the bagels have risen.
Okay, so they've risen. We let ours sit for about an hour. And then the next step is to boil a pot of water with 1 tablespoon of sugar in it. And then once you've done that, you put the bagels in for 2 minutes at a time on each side, and we'll see you after. Okay, so now the water is boiling, and so what you want to do is, usually in my pot I can fit 4 to 5 depending on the size of the bagels into the pot. So what you just want to do is you want to take it and drop them in. Just take them off and drop them in. And the butter doesn't melt into the oil or into the water, obviously. And so it's after you do about 4 or 5-ish batches, it'll start to like build up, but it'll be fine. It's not going to ruin your bagels. And then you just want to cook them for 1 to 2 minutes on each side, and then you want to flip it, and then we'll get back to you when we take them out. Okay, now for the egg wash, mix together 1 egg white and a tablespoon of water. So once they are done in the water, you just transfer them onto some paper towel and let them cool for a couple seconds. And then you're gonna want to transfer them over to a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. It can be the same one, it can be different, it doesn't matter. But you want to put them on the side that you want to be the bottom on the sheet. Oh, and when you boil them, they get bigger, so that's why I have another baking sheet here. But so you just put them on your baking sheet, and then you want to put your egg wash on both sides. That's why you want to put them on the back side, so that you can put the egg wash on the back side and then flip it over and put it on the front side. So now that I've got the egg wash on all of them, I'm just going to take my everything bagel seasoning, and you want to be pretty generous with how much you put on. Like, for example, obviously everything bagels have quite a bit of seasoning on them, so I put a pretty generous amount on them. And then you just repeat this with all of your bagels. Now, once you've got all of the bagels on the trays, you're going to want to bake them at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 to 30 minutes. You know that they're done when they're golden brown.
See you in 30 minutes.
So this is our bagel, one of them. We just cut it in half, and we're gonna put some cream cheese on it. We're gonna try it. So Bub, go ahead and put it on. We use whipped cream cheese. Oh shoot, that was backward. We use whipped cream cheese because it's the easiest to spread on bagels and other things. So, highly recommend whipped cream cheese. Put cream cheese on it, and we're gonna try it. That's really good. What do you think?
It's good. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Try these. They're so good. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye.